Because you know, people get so wrapped up in like these things. Like, you know, for years I did my birthday on whatever day I had the least amount of stuff going on. Like, it's just a day, right? You know what I mean? It's like, but so many people are like, man, my birthday is so much more important than like my financial well-being and my long-range success. But I got that birthday.
I'm gonna celebrate for 3 weeks.
There you go, baby. There you go. And one day, every day, you could treat that way, right? And that's what most of us don't understand. We just have such a hard time comprehending short-term sacrifice for long-term gain because we have such a problem thinking any longer than weeks or months ahead. If you could see what was ahead for you, you'd have no problem making the sacrifice, right? I never felt like I was sacrificing here because my vision was so clear for where I was going. I knew it was going to happen. It was just a matter of time. I looked at what Assad had when I came into the business. He'd been in for 15 years, making $500,000. He'd been making about $500,000 for 5 or 6 years before that. He had a great lifestyle. I'm like, I can do that. Do you really believe that? Do you look at people like John or myself and believe, I can do that? Or do you somehow believe that we're different and special, right? That you're not quite as special, that you know, there's just something, it's not really what we told you it was, like working and doing a point. It's some other magic thing that we have that's you don't have, you're missing, and you won't be able to recreate that. I want to ask, like deep down inside, do you look at me and think, I can do what that guy did? Or do you believe there's something special? Because there's nothing special. Somebody today, they were texting me this morning about how they couldn't come in, they had a fever. I'm like, listen, I had a vasectomy and drove to an appointment with peas on my balls and recruited somebody. So don't. That's how we only have 3 children with all the sexy time. I mean, you're putting it together, right? Okay. Michael Connell's like, can I have one of those?
Anytime someone tells me they're sick, I'm like, you can be sick there or here. You might as well learn something.
That's exactly my coaching. I'm like, listen, this is the main thing going to help you get less sick. You just be sick staring at the wall at home, or you'd be sick sitting next to your buddy here making them sick, right? Okay? At least share. Right? Don't you remember your parents saying sharing is caring, right? Okay?
Like after the vasectomy, after the kids, just so you know.
Yeah, you really want my future self giving me the advice, right?
So, but, yeah, so are you... It's commitment. That's all it is. It's commitment. It's making the tough decisions. It's not. It's not choosing now what you want versus what you really want in the future. And most people, they're just so bad at that, right? It's like, donut today or 6-pack abs in 6 months. Well, I want the 6-pack, but that donut looks so good, and you probably got to have the right genes for that. I'm just big boned, and okay, all these things we tell ourselves about why it's okay not to make that little commitment today, right? Okay, so do you really believe that you can do what I've done? The truth is, many of you don't. You don't. You think it's something special. You go, it's just his personality, it's just his boyish good looks, it's just his unbelievable charm, all these things, right? Okay? And I don't have those things, no, right? It's those little decisions, right, that you don't see me make, that I made over and over, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, that you don't make, or you compromise, right? Or every 4th one, you're like, hey, I've been doing pretty good on my sacrifice. Time to reward myself. I'm like, hey, I'll be rewarded when there's money flowing into my bank account, no matter what I do. That will be my reward, right? Does that make sense? Okay, so anyways, I'm excited. I've got a little hit list I've made of things that we're going to work on, that I'm going to provide some coaching on to you guys over the next 4 weeks that I think are really, really important, that I feel that most of us are lacking some basic understanding in. And so I'm excited to go through that. So I need a volunteer who's going to end up on camera here, apparently. Everybody say hi to Aristida. Aristida, welcome back. Hey. We missed you, buddy. It does not involve carrying buckets with 40 pounds in them. Okay, so I need somebody
Last volunteer was
who
torment.
can come and volunteer, not all at once. All right, Aristida will come up.
Still sore.
Yes, I'm sure he is. That bucket was heavy. That was really
Yeah.
heavy. Hey, buddy. So what I'm going to go through is the business owner presentations. A lot of you guys, right, when I'm looking at your docs, I'm like, hey, how did you get on 27 appointments and one guy bought? That's what I was asking Rick the other day. So, well, there's mostly Steve's. Those were easy business to me. Easy, right, okay? I would convert probably half into a sale or a recruit, okay? So if you're not converting 50% of the business people you sit with into something, okay, there's something not computing here. You're not following the process for sure. You think, here's your thought, I'm gonna go and they're just gonna give stuff to me. They're just gonna give me business, right? Okay, that's not gonna happen. You've gotta follow a very, very specific process, okay? So you're like, well, I do it my way. Fine, how's your way working? If you're not closing half, your way sucks, okay? It's not good. And you should stop your way and you should learn the right way, because I know that this way works. I made lots and lots of money over lots and lots of years doing exactly this, okay? So your goal is to figure out, what am I doing different? That's your goal, right? Okay, how is what I'm saying or doing at any part during this process different than what Ian's saying and doing? Because those differences are what are costing you a lot of opportunities, right? Okay, so let's start with a phone call. So I met Travis at a networking event. Okay, by the way, some of you go and you network for 5 hours, okay? I can be just as effective as you in 20 to 30 minutes tops, okay? I'm looking for somebody who looks serious. Can you judge a book by its cover? No, but to some level you can, right? Okay? Does this person look put together, right? There's players and projects. If you're gonna show up to a networking meeting looking all hideous and you're all disheveled, it's probably not who you're looking for, right? Okay, you're looking for people that look reasonably well dressed, right? Okay, they tend to be younger, right? Okay, it's hard to recruit and override a 72-year-old for a long period of time, right? Okay, I want to override them for a long period of time. Okay, they tend to also not be as established in their current relationships, in their current roles. Okay, so I'm not talking 19 younger, I'm talking like 45 and down. Does that mean you can't recruit people that are above? No. But if I have 30 people, I'm not looking for all 30. I'm looking for 7 or 8 in that 30. So how am I getting their information? I'm talking to them about their favorite subject. Josh, what do you do for a living? Awesome. How long have you been doing that? What did it take you to become great at that? Do you have a card? That's how I get their info. Do you have a card? They almost always do, right? I take their card, I'll give them one of mine. I don't give them cards unless I'm asked, okay? I'm gonna follow up, not them. Nobody has ever followed up with me ever one time to try to sell me their product or service from a networking event. Not once, okay? So I'm gonna be in control of getting the info, managing that call. Okay, I could do this off bulletin boards, is exactly how I got that guy. I pulled his Vima card off a bulletin board at a piece of crap diner in Clarkston that I was recruiting. Oh, is it? No, I thought it was the other one.
Back when Peterway had all their cards.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was the other one. So I was at Peterway pulling this thing out, right? Okay, and then I'm like, boom, here's somebody I'm gonna call. So who am I looking for? If I'm on a bulletin board, I'm looking for people I can easily have a conversation with. Mortgage people, realtors, other insurance people, people in other network marketing businesses, right? What are you really gonna say to like the
Dog groomer.
the who?
The dog groomer.
Yeah, what are you gonna say to the dog groomer? Let's trade business? I mean, that doesn't make any sense, right? But I know I can have conversations with those people pretty easily, right? I've got talk tracks for them, okay? So I meet Travis out and about. Here's what I'm saying. I'm calling Travis, and so Travis picks up the phone. I'm like, Travis, this is Ian Prukner. We met at the Business Expo 2 days ago. Do you remember me?
Yes, I do.
Okay, awesome, great. Hey, listen, it was really, really nice talking to you. I really enjoyed our time. And I want to set a time where you and I can get together and chat about maybe helping each other grow our businesses. So I think at a minimum, Travis, we'll be able to refer some people to each other. At a maximum, we may actually be able to help each other generate some revenue. So as far as us getting together to chat about this, what's good for you like tomorrow, the next day? When do you have 30 minutes? Okay? Some of you already see vast discrepancy between what you're saying to them and what I'm saying to them. Right? Okay? Well, guess what? If you get there under a different pretense, you're digging out of a hole right away. Hey, I just want to do some networking with you. No, I don't want to network with you at all. I would like to recruit you, right, and sell you something. That's what I would like to do. So I'm going to tell you that, right? Look, listen, I want to chat and talk about how we might be able to help each other grow our businesses. I think at a minimum, Travis, we'd be able to refer each other to some people. At a maximum, we may actually be able to actively help each other generate some revenue. So as far as us getting together over the next couple days, what's best? This day, this day. Okay, here's how I call a bulletin board that's not network marketing. So I call Manesh, he's a realtor. Manesh, this is Ian Prukner. You don't know me. I have a financial business in town. You still doing real estate? Okay, great. I pulled your card down off the wall at Petaway. And listen, you know, I just love to set a time where you and I might be able to have a coffee and chat about how we might be able to help each other grow our businesses. And I leave out the part about, you know, maybe we can actively help each other generate some revenue, right? Because what's he going to say to that? No. He's going to say, well, what do you mean? Well, I work with all sorts of mortgage people. I work with lots of people that are in the market for your service. And so I've built my entire business off of making a lot of friends and building relationships with people, you know, servicing similar clienteles but in non-competing products. So I'd like to chat with you about that if you're open to maybe getting some business by referral and growing that together. I'm in front of all these people. 1 out of 10 tells me no. Maybe. Okay? So does anybody have any questions on what they just saw? No.
How long are you waiting to call?
2 days.
Do you also typically say, I'd like a chance?
Not on the
That's
phone.
when you get there.
That's when I get there.
Oh, okay.
Rick,
You got these talk tracks available?
somebody just made them available because you're recording them right now. Yeah. And yes, these things, you recorded them in Greg's office at the old office. So they're somewhere. It's exact. I mean, I haven't changed anything
It's on
about it.
YouTube. You look up YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
It's on there. Ian Prukner, business owner.
Yeah.
Okay.
The bulletin board ones, if they don't answer, do you leave a voice?
Yep. Hey Logan, Ian Prukner, I got your card off of the bulletin board at Lashish. Give me a call back when you can. He thinks it's business. He thinks I'm calling him to buy a house. Right? He's gonna call back.
He's smart.
That's what they're all gonna call back. Yeah. Yeah. They're all gonna call back. So if you're getting legitimate business people, if you're getting, you know, stay-at-home Susan who has a, you know, whatever business, she ain't ever calling you back. I'm talking about like real people that actually make money providing for themselves as an individual person in the economy.
But Ian, you also don't call stay-at-home Susans.
Huh?
You don't call stay-at-home Susans.
What am I gonna say to her? She's a Tupperware girl. What am I gonna say to Tupperware lady? Right? And she's gonna have to talk to her husband. There's a reason she has Tupperware because she doesn't have it. That's too much work, right? That's too much work, right? If I had to, I would, but I don't have to because I got good at these other things, right? Does that make sense? Yeah. JQ.
I know this is rare, but I did call a business card from a board once, and I said the same script.
That's your problem. You said the word once.
Well, I'm saying it happened once, but I want to hear what your response is. So they said, well, if this is anything about Primerica or insurance, we're not interested. We've already been called by.
Yeah, so you talking too much. They would have zero reason to have any idea even what industry you're in unless you're talking too much.
I think she said when somebody else might have pulled the card.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
She recognizes the script?
There's no way you follow that script and somebody says, if this is Primerica or insurance, I don't want to talk.
But you even said you say personal finance, which is
No, I don't. Did you hear me say personal finance?
Financial.
Okay, maybe. Maybe.
If they ask.
If they asked. I didn't say, I didn't volunteer that. I said, Kayla, listen, I pulled your card off off the bulletin board, right? Okay, so if it's a cold call, I run a financial business in the area, right? Not if I met them person to person though. They already know what I do. I gave them my card, right? Does that make sense?
So if it's a business card, you just say finance business.
Yeah. Hey, so you're a realtor. JQ, listen, I got your card off the wall at Denny's. And listen, I just want to set a time with you. I run a financial business in the area. Yeah, I think we might be able to do some networking together, or maybe pass each other some referrals, whatever that is, right? Okay. I've never had anybody respond that way. If they did, I'd be like, great, you must be a client. And now back to the original thing, when somebody objects to Primerica, right? I was taking that same objection and putting it here. Okay? So you saw how I called him. So now watch this. So I'm sitting with Aristida. Okay? We met together. He agreed to meet. We're at the coffee shop. I'm in total control of this appointment the entire time. Okay? So I'm gonna form him a little bit, right? Okay, but not long, like literally 10, 20 seconds here. Right? Okay. Otherwise, they will start to, oh my gosh. Okay, so 10, 20 seconds, like Aristida, hey, thanks for meeting me. Where'd you come from today, buddy? Where were you heading from?
I was actually in Southfield this way.
Okay, wow. Traffic wasn't too bad then. Looks like you found it okay. Awesome. Well, hey, buddy, listen, I really do appreciate your time. Like I told you over the phone, you know, I wanted to get together with you and chat about how we might be able to help each other grow our businesses. And I've got a couple of goals for today's meeting, Aristida. The first goal is I'd love to get to know a little bit more about you and what you do, okay, and how you earn money, so that I could have a couple of good quality referrals to you, preferably today before we end our meeting, okay? I'd also love to give you an opportunity to compete for my business. If what you do can benefit me, I'd love for you to share that with me, and I'd love to give you an opportunity to earn my business if it's something that is applicable to me. Is that okay with you? Okay, so that's my first goal. My second goal today, Aristida, is to educate you a little bit about what I do and who I'm looking for. And I'd love to have a couple of good quality referrals from you today before we leave. And the other part of that is I would love an opportunity to compete for your business. If what I do can benefit you, I would like an opportunity to earn your business there. Are you okay with that? Boom. In the first 1 minute, I have created an upfront contract. Here's what I'm going to do for you. Here's what I'd like you to do for me. Okay? Right there. If they don't say yes, I'm stopping. There's no point in moving forward. I'm not here to network. I'm not here to make a friend. I'm not here to come to somebody's fundraiser that they want to get me. I'm here to get a client and a recruit. That's why I'm here. Does this make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So, did you just obligate yourself to buy whatever he's selling? No. Okay, I right up front, if what you do can benefit me, I'd like to give you a shot. And when I get there, right, I'm gonna ask him, how do you think I could benefit from what you have? Let's say he's a mortgage guy. If you think you can get me a better rate than what I have, I'd love for you to do it. Here's what I have, I can send you my info, right? Like I've got the cheapest everything on planet Earth, because I meet with all these guys and I let them look at it. And if you can make an improvement, why wouldn't I do business with you?
Yep.
And if you can't, then I'm gonna stay where I am and we have that discussion. Aristida, I'm gonna let you look at it. If you can't do better, I just want you to know I am gonna stay where I am, and that makes sense to you, right? And if you can do better, I'd love for you to get that business, right? So I'm not, some of you are buying every, deal in the world, right? Okay, you got this juice, you got Shakeology, you got Thrive, you got this, you coming in with the things on your arm, right? Okay, because you're buying everything everybody's selling to you.
And they're not buying up.
Right, right, or they do and then they cancel, right? Okay, and you can't cancel the patch that's on your arm to get your energy boost for the day, right? Okay, so
what that sounds like, is that they're sitting down with the wrong people if that's the case. Like if you're sitting down with a Tupperware person, like
I'll sit with you all day long, but I'm running the show, not the other way around, right? Gina.
So when it's time for you to give him referrals, who are you referring to?
So I'm generally, watch this, okay? This is why you need to go out and have a 5 to stay alive, right? I'm just the connector. Rarely am I the end user of a product. However, most businesses have other businesses that are yeah, they're symbiotic businesses, like mortgage people, real estate people. A real estate person needs some good mortgage people because otherwise they can't get their deals done.
Yep.
Mortgage people live off of real estate people.
Yep.
Those two people, good ones, want to know each other. There's always opportunity there. So if he's a mortgage guy, I'm going to say, hey, you know, you obviously probably get a lot of your business from realtors, right? Okay, do you know this one? Oh no, okay, great. Do you know this person? No, I'd love to make some introductions for you. And then I'm going to connect him. My referral is to a referral source. Does that make sense? Which he wants more than he wants my one deal, by the way, if he's smart, right? Okay, so I'm just a connector. I'm a connector of people. Okay, does that make sense to you? Right, so I'm not necessarily an end user. I'm a connector to future end users.
Because BNI's only let you have like one seat per category, a lot of people who work in the mortgage industry and real estate are not a part of a business networking group like BNI, so they value that a lot. Like
Sure.
They value their referrals a lot.
Sure, absolutely. They don't have people getting people. They're out there hunting for every piece of business they're ever going to get. Any leads you can give these people, if they're serious business people, they're going to track down, right? They don't have people finding them stuff, right? Does that make sense? So you watch the upfront contract just happen, right? So I get affirmation that he's good with that. So you're all right with that, right, Aristida? Awesome. All right, so tell me a little bit about exactly what you're doing. I'm taking notes, right? Okay. What's the most profitable service that you're offering? Where do you make the most money, or what do you like doing the most out of the whole suite of services? Obviously, there's something that's really like, that's your bread and butter. What is that, Aristida? You know? No, I don't care because it's just, yeah, it's just little, right? Okay. How would I find somebody like that for you? What would I say to them? How would I recognize this person as being a good referral for you? Would you prefer that I get their info to you or that they would call you? Okay, great. Aristida, wonderful. So now, like I said, I'd love to give you a shot at earning my business. How do you feel like, if at all, that what you do would benefit me? How would that look in your eyes? And he's gonna sit there and tell me whatever, right? Okay, and I'm gonna explain to him like, look, you know, if he's trying to sell me crap that I don't want or need, I'll just explain to him like, that's not really what I'm looking for, but here it is. Or I'll give you a shot. Sure, here, I'll send you my paperwork. You're an accountant, sure. I'll send you my stuff. Take a look at it. If you think you can do better, we'll talk. If you can't, that's not a problem. I won't be offended, and I'll stay where I am if you're good with that. Is that fair? Okay, wonderful. So Aristida, let me tell you a little bit about what I'm looking for, okay, and what we do specifically, and you know who I'm looking to be introduced to. Okay, and then I just give them an overview. Primarily, we have two jobs, right? One job is we help educate families. We do this through a financial plan called a financial needs analysis, blah, 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 okay? And we do a lot of things in that financial needs analysis. Aristida, really the only thing that I'm looking for specifically from you there is I'm looking for introductions to accountants, real estate people, mortgage people, people you know that are great salespeople. And the reason I'm looking for that, Aristida, is those people bring me clients on steroids. Their whole business is filled with my clients. Does that make sense? Who do you know that's a great accountant, Aristida?
Greg?
Greg? Okay, so Greg. Do you have a phone number for Greg?
313.
Okay, so I'm extracting the referrals right now. Hey, what's their name? Do you have a great realtor? Why am I not asking for specific clients? Because it's way easier for him to refer me to another business person than it is somebody, and I'm going to get into an insurance discussion with him pretty quickly here in a second too, and he might refer me to some people there, but I want more places to go from him. Does that make sense? Okay, so I'm getting realtor, I'm getting mortgage person, I'm getting all these people, names and phone numbers right there. I'm asking for them, right? Okay, so I've got all these things there. So Aristida, the other thing that I told you is I would love a shot at earning your business if it were applicable to you. And we do a lot of things. Really the thing, Aristida, for sure, I know that we can make a massive, massive improvement for you on is your life insurance, okay? So I'm sure you have some sort of life insurance, right? Okay, good, awesome. Do you know what you have? Okay, and I'm just in an insurance discussion. One of the five discussions right here, right? Okay, and if he's like, I'm all set, right, or I have term insurance, I'm like, well, let me show you how your term insurance works, and I just draw it out, right? And I talk to him about our decreasing benefit, all that. Aristida list is going to save you thousands and thousands, tens of thousands over time. So Aristida, what I would like to do with you is I would like to set up another time to get together to talk specifically about that, where we can review what you have. Okay, I'm not going to waste your time. This is going to save you a lot of money, a lot. I'm positive, or I wouldn't be asking you for the time. I don't want to waste mine either. Okay, and I'm going to ask him things like, are you insurable, blah, right, okay, before I waste my time getting back there and he can't do it, right? But I'm selling him on value. I'll make shock statements if I need to. Oh, I'm all set. Listen, Aristida, if your life insurance policy doesn't say Primerica, you're going to pay tens and tens of thousands of dollars too much. It's probably going to explode on you when you need it most. So I appreciate that you think you're good. Okay, but like I asked you, I'd love to have a shot at earning your business. I'd like for you to give me 15 minutes to show you why. And Aristida, if when we're done talking, it is not a massive improvement, stay where you are. And you said, Ian, you're wrongly wasting my time, but that's not going to happen. So I'm getting back in front of this guy, right? Now, if he has no insurance right now, I'm closing him. Yeah. If there's an opportunity to close, I'm taking it. Some of you are like, you're like carry back fairies, right? Okay, you're like, I could close right now, but I don't want to have to ask for the close, so I'm just going to set a carry back. And if it makes its way through, then I'll know it was destined in the stars for him to become my client, right? Okay.
I think people think that because they're a business professional, they have this idea like, oh, they'll get back together. They're just like average.
They're just like normal people. Yeah. You're going to have lots and lots of reschedules on carrybacks.
Yeah. Especially if they don't have life insurance already.
They're never getting back with you. Yeah. They're never getting back with you.
They just don't value. Otherwise, they would already had.
Sure. So
Quick question.
Go ahead.
So if you're sitting with somebody and they do have a policy, maybe they think it's really good, they've had it for years, whatever, and they do have a spouse, and you're setting the carryback, are you attempting to set the
Generally
carryback
not.
with them? Okay.
Generally not. I'm generally going back for part A, because they make decisions all day long by themselves. They're not like an employee that needs to check in with everybody for every move of their life, right? Okay. So and then I'll go back on the delivery and I'll get the spouse.
Yeah, the spouse.
So
almost always, not always, but almost always.
okay, so the spouse thing only comes up if they bring it up.
Correct.
You just go as if it's normal. Okay.
Correct. Yeah, I'm just doing theirs. Hey, by the way, Aristida, you're married, right? Okay. And your wife's name is Mabel. What does she have set up for her? Do you know? Same thing. Okay, so we're not going to deal with that today, but when we get yours done and it makes sense, that we'll go and we'll take a look at what she has. Yep. Okay, I'm closing this deal if I can right now.
Yeah.
Right? I'm asking, well, what do you think you have? I don't really know. Do you know what you pay for it? Well, probably this. Do you know how much coverage you think? If it's like, if I know he's got whole life or some bull crap, right? I mean, that's just a major discrepancy. If the price point works without me having to look at it, I'll take a shot right now.
Sure.
Right? I'll take a shot right now. Okay? And if I absolutely can't get it, then we'll schedule a time to be back together within like 3 or 4 days tops. Right? And you gotta be prepared for a 50% reschedule rate on that. 50% of them you're never back in front of. But the ones you are back in front of, it's lay down. They're all buying. Okay? Because you've set it up well. Right? Does this make sense? Okay. So I've either closed or I've gotten a life insurance appointment set up. I'd say, Aristida, last thing, I'd be remiss to not at least ask you this, but I'm always looking for people, you know, that are looking to maybe do something different, career change, want to make a few extra $1,000 a month on the side, maybe go on to make quite a bit of money. I'm sure you're pretty happy doing what you're doing. You wouldn't be interested in that. Who do you know that might really be interested in an opportunity to do that? A couple grand a month on the side, or maybe 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 a year full time if they were good.
My son in the basement, maybe.
Okay, I'm gonna give them basically like a almost like a non-direct recruiting approach there, okay? And sometimes they're like me, I'd be interested in this, right? I just did that with a CPA. I went there to get his insurance, I got the insurance, right? But he's like, I've been thinking about getting an insurance license. And I'm like, perfect, right? You just ask, right? You ask in a process. Okay, any questions on what you just saw?
So you have like 4 or 5 categories you really focus on, not every time that you carry.
Correct. But I'm only doing that because I have enough activity, right? So my habits allow me to choose to stay in good markets because I don't need every Tom, Dick, and Harry because I'm not doing the other things I'm supposed to be doing, right? Okay? That's not happening to me. Most of you got to talk to everybody because you have so little of your 5 to stay alive up and running. You're just talking to Tupperware Tim and all these people, right? Okay? Other questions?
Do you ever have people who are uncomfortable giving referral contact before they speak with the referrals?
Sometimes, but generally if they're business people referring other business people, that's like commonplace. Here, call this guy. Yeah. So if you're talking to like a W-2 employee, they're uncomfortable in the world of referrals, most of them, right? Because they just show up and get paid to do their time. They don't understand like how somebody else would need to talk to somebody else to make money. It doesn't compute for them. Other questions?
So you're saying about telling the other person like if you might be a candidate for what they're doing, but if you know in your mind like there's no way, even for real estate work, like I don't own a house, so I'm not in the market for a mortgage or that kind of thing. How do you deal with that kind of thing?
So when I go, so Patricia, the other thing I told you, I like to give you an opportunity to earn my business. You know, obviously you're in the mortgage business right now. I'm really not looking to buy anything, okay? Right now, I don't have anything to refinance, but I will definitely keep you in mind when that does happen. But like I said, I think that these people might actually be a better fit for you personally than I would be, right? So I've already given them something, so generally they don't care at that point. Yeah. Anybody else?
Do you ever have anyone say they agree to your first, lay down if this is what I'm planning on doing, have an opportunity to review your insurance if I can benefit you? Yes. And then at the end, they're like,
No, I don't talk about insurance right up front.
correct.
Okay, so I said I want an opportunity to earn your business if what I do can benefit you. Didn't say anything about reviewing their insurance.
Okay. Have you ever had a yes on that and a no in the end?
Sure. Happens sometimes, right? It just tells you they weren't listening to what you were saying.
Okay.
Right? Right there, Yeah, so, but I'll remind them of that. I'll say, so, Jordan, I do want to set a time to get back together with you. We're really busy right now, and okay. So at the very beginning of our talk, I said one of the things I wanted to do is have an opportunity to earn your business. You told me you were okay with that, and you're telling me you're really too busy to give me that shot. I'm confused as to maybe where I miscommunicated to you. Did you maybe understand something differently? Sure.
No, we're just, I made time to sit down with you today. We're just busy. All right, let's touch base in a couple of weeks.
Okay, so I appreciate that, and I totally respect that. Why don't we set a time to be back together again in a couple of weeks? If you're serious about, like you had told me you would allow me to look at your stuff, if you're serious about giving me that opportunity, let's go ahead and set it up. If you're not serious about giving me that opportunity, you're just kind of saying yes to me to see what you could maybe get from me, then we can go ahead and stop the conversation, and we don't need to worry about that. It's gonna get real weird if you try to.
Throwing up.
That's okay. I don't care. What you should have told me, Jordan, was I'm not willing to give you a shot, and I'd have shaken your hand and I'd saved us both a half an hour. You just stole a half an hour of my life. You were trying to get something and you had no intention of reciprocating back to me, right? So Jordan, you should have just told me no. You should have just told me, no, I'm not willing to give you that, and I would have been fine with that. But Jordan, you told me, yes, I've given you referrals, and now you're changing your tune on me, my man. I'm confused. And you know what I'm going to do to those referrals? Hey, this guy's going to call you. Don't take his phone call. I'm going to poison the well. Don't waste your time with this joker. He's said anything to do, right, to get what he's looking for and not follow through. Right? And I've had that happen a few times. It's pretty rare. And it's very rare if you're thorough up front with what you're saying. Where it happens all the time is when you gloss over the upfront contract. Right? You don't set clear expectations. Well, now they could respond any of a million different ways, and all of them are correct because you did not give them the rules to the playing field. Right? Does that make sense? I'm establishing the rules to the game we're going to play here. And if you don't like it, tell me. I'm 100% okay with that. Let's cut our losses at 5 minutes. You're not interested in giving me a shot? No problem. That makes me not interested in giving you a shot or access to my network. No problem. Well, it's not a great fit. Hey, I appreciate you. Best of luck. No problem. This is business. We don't have to do business with everybody. Right?
What if you have a, all right, Ian, you gave him 2 seconds of where'd you come from, where you on your way, great. If you have a talker, how do you wrap them up?
I'm just right away, I'm turning. So he's telling me, oh, I'm like, that's awesome. The moment I have a free, he takes a breath. Hey, Josh, like I told you on the phone, right? Yeah, I'm just redirecting that immediately.
The same thing would apply as if they're continuing to talk about their business.
I move them along. Like when Coop's behind on his talk, right? We just move his slide forward. I'm like, O'Connell, just move him to the next one.
I look at you all the time like
Just started.
So I move it with another question. Okay, great. What's the most profitable thing? Great. How would I recognize this for you? Great. What would I say to them? Great. How would I? Do you want their number? But I'm just moving it along. I've got a pace that I'm going to move it at.
So I closed business on a construction company over this past week, and it took me 3 reschedules of 2 weeks out because they just had different projects, that sort of thing. How do you overcome the objection of when can you get together within the next 2 or 3 days? Well, we got a huge project outside.
Did you get what you wanted?
I don't know.
Did you close the business?
Well, yeah, I did.
Okay, wonderful. So you got what you wanted, right? So you don't have to worry about it being 2 weeks out if you got 30 or 40 of them going all the time, right? Okay. And when you're dependent on that deal to come through now, and then it moves 2 weeks from now, and you're like, I don't know if I'm still going to be in Primerica in 2 weeks, right? To do that deal. Yeah. So I don't worry about that. I'm just moving the ball along, like Jordan. Hey, why don't you call me in 2 weeks, Jordan? Listen, I totally appreciate that. I know how busy you are. I'm pretty busy as well. Why don't we just set something for a couple of weeks out, and that way it's on our calendar. My goal is to move the ball forward. If I can move the ball forward, this is a funnel. I'm going to take opportunities to close, or I'm going to move the ball forward with another meeting, not a callback. I'm not going to call you back. Okay? It's another meeting, or I'm closing. Right? Meeting, and it's funneling down, and business is falling out the bottom. Now, it took you longer than you wanted, but you still got the right result.
So, with a business owner, if you just go ahead and go for the close no matter what, like, would you advise that? Like, for instance, if they sit down, I've got something, I'm not really sure what it is, it brings a whole life, I pay.
So this is where you get the info, right? And you, right, okay, they got this much coverage for this much money. And then you tie them down. Say, if I could get you the same coverage but less money, you would want to pay less for it, right?
Sure,
okay.
So, but it may not be, right? Like, if they've got a term.
So I'm not going to compete against a ghost. Right. I'm going to get back with them.
You won't close?
No. I'm not saying I won't close, but how do you want me to, we can't see your policy. How am I supposed to sell you on paying more for something you don't even understand without it there?
It's just if it's less than what they're paying, or they have nothing.
If it's
super easy.
Correct. If there's an upfront value discrepancy that favors us, without them having to see, I'm going to close that all day long. If there's I won't even tell people prices, Shane, if it's backwards.
Right.
I'm going to say, Shane, listen, what we really need to do is get back together and look at your policy. Here's what I can promise you, okay, is that when we see it, I'm going to be able to show you some ways to save huge amounts of money, long range on it. But we do need to see it. He's paying 50 and ours is 70. You will not get a price out of my mouth because I'm competing against a ghost. It's my word against your understanding, and you don't understand.
His could be way off.
Right. Yeah. So listen. Perfect example. This accountant I just recruited. I'm paying $170 a month for $2 million, and $250,000 of its whole life I've converted. And I'm like, no, because I went and looked, and our $2 million, and it was all 20-year term, according to him. Our $2 million 20-year term was $450 a month.
Yeah.
So guess what? Did I tell him a price?
No.
I said, let's get back together, bring the policies. Guess what he had? He had annual renewing term, right, with $25,000 of whole life, and he was paying $400 a month.
Oh. Yeah, then you can compete.
I'd like to pay one.
Now it's easy.
Right.
Now I got him a 10-year for $270 a month. Take the savings, boom. This is easy all day long.
Yep.
But if I'd have tried to, hey, look, yours is really bad. I know you can't see that, right? But this is why.
Sometimes
that's never gonna.
even pull your quick quotes out.
Huh?
Sometimes you can even tell before you even pull your quick quotes out. Like, okay.
But I'm good at creating the value and creating the need and making sure I'm going to be back in front of this person.
You come across the trickery of like the bull crap of like AIL, where it's like 200,000 of accidental death and dismemberment and 50 whole life.
Well, you can't see.
250.
I'm not going to compete against a ghost. So I'll ask. I'm going to send up a test balloon, right? Like, hey, how would you feel about getting that started today? Oh, I kind of want to look at it. Hey, you know what? I think that's probably best. If they're like, sure, yeah, let's go ahead and start. I'm like, wonderful, let's go. I'm test ballooning it.
I love it. Are you test ballooning if it's like an easy close?
No,
or
if it's
like
an easy close, I'm going to ask him to move forward. If there's a discrepancy, right, I'm going to test balloon it a little bit. Right, let me explain to you why this product chain is so unique compared to what you have. And I'll argue concept with them. Here's how your policy is going to work. Here's how our policy works. That if you could have one that worked this way, that'd obviously be better than what you have, right?
So now, if it is more, right, like in the conversation that you don't know, right, like let's say they say I've got a whole life, I've got $100 grand worth of coverage, and I'm paying $20, and you're like, well, that's highly unlikely. But you show them how whole life functions and say, do you like this product function that way? Like, no, I don't. Great. So would you see a downside to applying, right? And I can guarantee you, when we get back together, I can show you.
I would not take an application without discussing the costs of it. That's a guaranteed not taken for you.
The costs?
Yeah. You gotta have. I don't know what some of you do out there in the field, okay? But our admins catch some pretty bizarre stuff, right? Okay. So we've talked about what this is going to cost and why it's better before you have applied, not after you have applied.
Oh no, I'm saying like you definitely go through it, be very clear with everything. What's that?
Sure. So again, if there's an opportunity to close, I'm gonna close. I'm looking for that opportunity. But if they don't have it in front of me, right, and they appear to have a value discrepancy that favors them, I'm coming back.
Question. About the same price, their term and our term about the same price. Ours has a kicker on the end, theirs doesn't. You gonna pitch it and then go for the hard close, or you
No.
kind of test
So again, what am I doing? I'm gonna test balloon it. Does this make sense to you? Great. Okay, but here's what he's thinking. I don't know if mine actually works that way.
Yeah, he's not gonna just take.
He doesn't know. So I'll test balloon it. If he's trusting or has enough information and understanding about insurance that he gets it, he might just go forward. But if he doesn't know that, again, you're competing against their memory of what it has, or their distrust of you and trust in themselves.
So like, I mean, obviously if if they're like clearly not in reality, no matter what they have, I think it's a bad idea to try to do something if they have no idea, like, oh yeah, like 250,000 whole life for $20. Like, I don't even, if mine's gonna come back at 40, I didn't even try it.
That's what I'm saying. If
Yeah,
there's,
I mean,
if
like
there's a price discrepancy, right, I'm coming back with the policy. That's what I want, right? Because I want that deal to stick. It's not gonna stick if you just write something, right? Because then there's, I thought about it and we don't wanna pay extra. No, I wanna murder your policy in front of you, so it doesn't matter what you pay. DK and then Patricia.
So when you go on with these business owners, are you going on appointments with other insurance, like other insurance agents?
P&C agents, sure. Aflac agents, sure.
Okay.
I'm not going on appointments with other life insurance agents.
Okay.
I'm not doing a lot of appointments with financial people. I mean, it's so, the odds of them moving are so small because they'd have to move over completely. There's no part-time. Versus like a P&C guy, a health guy, they can put all their stuff here, keep doing what they're doing there and start our business, fine. And they know enough about insurance, they already have an insurance license, right? I'm not looking for somebody who's already made a career in life insurance because they're lead junkies and they just can't get selling trash out of their head. They just don't understand, that's all they know. You know? Patricia.
So since you're meeting with business owners, when would you do a key man policy or a, that I'm fine buy sell?
When there's an opportunity to do it.
So I guess that's
First, their personal policy.
Yep.
Well, I think what he's talking about meeting is like realtors, mortgage loan officers, like
those people don't have key man policies. They're self-employed.
What if it's a broker or a,
Right.
that would be a
lot of times they bring that stuff up.
Sure.
I guess what it is, I'm realizing I don't know the distinction when I see, like.
Okay, so you should talk to your upline about the distinction between a key man and a buy-sell. Go ahead.
How do you roll into the recruit presentation with that?
Just like I did. Hey, Aristida, one last thing I'd be remiss to not at least ask you. I know you're probably really happy doing what you're doing. I'm sure you're making great money. You wouldn't be interested in extra money. But I am looking for people, spare time, even as referral partners, to get a license. They make a few thousand a month on the side. If they're good, they can make $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year, full time. Get a residual income. Yeah, I'm sure that's not something you'd be interested in, but who do you know that might be, right? Okay, and sometimes they're like, well, I might be interested in it. I don't know. Yeah. So it's just, hey, by the way.
And you're going to the recruit no matter what right there? You're just going to recruit them? Or
No,
I mean,
so
or
I'm asking.
A lot of carrybacks with that too.
I'm asking, what do you, so he says, well, I might be interested. Okay, well, what are you most interested in about what I've talked about?
Making a lot of money, doesn't seem that hard.
Okay, it's not. What other questions do you have?
How do I start?
Yep, so I'm just gonna, hey, any other questions? I'll divulge whatever information he wants. Great, any other questions? Eventually he's gonna run out of questions. Say, great, I'd like to get you started if that's something you wanna do.
You say $224 to get your license.
I've already said that. He's asked me.
Oh,
He's asked me what it costs to get started. He's a business person, right? How much it costs to stay in business as a realtor?
A lot of money.
Thousands of dollars a year.
Starting out before you make a penny, it's
Right.
$1,000.
Yeah. So they're well aware that there's some cost associated with being in business for yourself.
Yeah.
So they're always going to ask, what's the startup? It's a couple day class, $124. You get part of it back. You got to get a license.
So you're not really trying to overcome much of an objection?
If you object to me, I'm just moving along.
Yeah, maybe on the carryback or say, like,
Even then, I'm just moving along. If you, I'm not trying to convince you. I'm looking for people that want to do something different. Right, which comes from having a large amount of activity. Watch this. When you have a large amount of activity, you're no longer emotionally connected to the outcome of every single appointment you have. Because you need it, because you haven't done the work to not need it. Right? Like tonight, I got 7 appointments between 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock with 2 new guys. I'm like, dear Lord, I hope some of them reschedule, right? Okay. But guess how much I care? And if they all reschedule, great. It's gonna be a beautiful night. I'm gonna sit at my house on the boat. And if they go, fine. I'll go and do the appointment, right? Okay. Oh well, right? Okay. But this is how you do that, right? You get a lot of activity, and then you don't really care if he joins or not, right? I want you to join. Well, maybe you'd be good, but if you're not like, yeah, I want to join, hey, no problem. Next, move along. Not rude, not mean, not judging him. I'm not ever going to think about him again, probably, right? Okay. So I'm just moving along. It's not being rude. I'm just seeing a lot of people. Not that I don't care about it. He's a guy I met off a business card, for goodness sake. There's a million more. Everybody get that?
Yeah.
Was this helpful today?
Very
nice.
nice.
Okay, very good. Give Aristida a hand for being All right, let's go around the horn and then we'll do our QBI. We'll do our QBI meeting. Who wants to be my